Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Bhavna Joshi and I will be taking the subject creating an inclusive school. In this subject today we will be discussing about the school organization and management. This topic is in your unit 3 of creating an inclusive school, B.Ed 218. So when we talk about the inclusive school, there are basically two types of characteristics which we should know. The first is the physical characteristics, which as the name suggests, includes the infrastructure, the facilities which we are giving to the students, the teachers, the staff, now all the physical setting of the classroom as well as school. The various educational documents, such as the curriculum and school policies, which should which suggests the implementation of inclusion in the school, that is also included in the physical characteristics. The psychological characteristics include the positive attitude of the teachers, the school management towards children with special needs, creating and maintaining positive interaction between the school and the community, that is the society from where the child is coming from, and thirdly, developing school policies which are related to having a positive behavior, a positive attitude towards these children. So these are the two types of characteristics of an inclusive education. So as a whole, we can say that a school that is capable of embracing all the learners and providing them with the facilities, infrastructure, the various human resources which are needed, the for the proper adjustment, the teaching methods, everything which involves all round development of the child with special need without any discrimination, will be called an inclusive school. So let's start with the basic things which are needed for the organization and management of an inclusive school. The first one is the proper infrastructure and accessibility. As the name suggests, that it includes the building, the material, the facilities. It could be it could be the lift facility, it could be the ramp facility, it could be the wide corridor facility for orthopedically impaired children. It also includes this infrastructure and accessibility also includes the facilities like accommodation facility, the special seating arrangement like tables and chairs which are made for these children only, the accessibility for various things like laboratories or workshops or playground for these children. That accessibility, this is included in, all these things are included in this the point, proper infrastructure and accessibility. The second point is awareness and positive attitude towards disability. This is very important, that all the teachers, the school administration, and the peer group of the children should have a very positive attitude towards children with special needs, so that these children are able to adjust in the environment. As a teacher, one should understand that every child possesses specific type of abilities and capabilities, and it is the role of the teacher to enhance those abilities and capabilities. So there needs to be a positive attitude as well as awareness. Teachers should know and should have the awareness about various rights, like right to education for these children. So this is the awareness and positive attitude towards disability. Next is the building proper human resources. It is very important to build a very proper human resources. Like, for example, there should be a appropriate teacher student ratio in the class. The specific staff should be appointed for these children. Like if a child needs a counselor or a audiologist or a speech therapist, that should be provided to them, that should be appointed. Then every teacher who is teaching them should have knowledge, skill, and a positive attitude towards these children with special needs. So this human building proper human resources also includes appointment of various faculties, like various specialist people, like clinical psychologist or physiotherapist or occupational therapist, or school counselor. Everyone is included in this. The next point is the appropriate material resources. This is very important for an inclusive school to build appropriate material resources which are needed by these children with special needs. It could be the assistive and adaptive resources and equipments which are needed for learning purpose, which makes the teaching learning purpose more fruitful. So all the assistive and adaptive devices should be in the school for these children. Next is the adoption of whole school approach. Now, what is this whole school approach? Whole school approach is when you are utilizing all the resources, all the efforts, everything which is owned by the school, along with the along with building a very positive climate and healthy relationship with all the stakeholders, which means the student, the teachers, the school personals, the administration, parents, and community people. So this is called as this whole school approach. So every inclusive school should adopt a whole school approach and should use all the resources along with having a very positive atmosphere for these children. And the last one is addressing inequality and diversity in classroom. The main important role of the teacher is to address to this problem of inequality in the classroom. It could be done through various pedagogical strategies, as well as the curriculum strategies, like having a different curriculum for different type of individual depending on the need and the capability of the learner. Because gone are the days when it was said that every curriculum is every individual should have the every child should have the same curriculum. This philosophy will not go with the inclusive school. So every the content, the matter, the learning experience which we are giving to the learner, the methods, the devices which we are using will differ from person to person, the student to student, depending upon the ability and requirement of the child. So this is very important role of the teacher to address inequality as well as the diversity in the classroom. As a teacher, one should celebrate the fact that every individual is different and there is diversity in the classroom. So this is about the school organization and management. Now comes the support services, which are very important for a school to have to facilitate inclusion. The first support service is for special education teacher. Now, every school should appoint and have to appoint special education teacher. The role of special education teacher is to make us resource room, to diagnose the problem of the child, to give suggestion for teaching and instruction purposes for the teachers, that what type of teaching and methods a teacher should use for the specific child. A special education teacher should intervene for any kind of behavioral problems which the child is going through. They are the one who help and guide the child time to time. So next is the guidance and counseling personnel. So the role of guidance and counseling personnel is Firstly, guidance and counseling. Personal have to give guidance and counseling to the students whenever they need it for any personal or any purpose related to studies. They have to guide and counsel the teachers as well as school personals like administrative people, because they are the one who will cultivate that positive attitude towards children with special needs for teachers. Then guidance and counseling, postal will give guidance and counseling to the parents and the family members also of these children with special needs. Next is the role of audiologist. Audiologist is one who counsels patient about hearing health. They will counsel them. They will give them possible treatment which is needed. They will diagnose and assess the type and degree of hearing impairment the child is suffering from, and they will suggest whatever care and adjustment and treatment is required by the child. Then they will counsel the parents and teachers that as how they can deal with the hearing impairment of the child. They will counsel the parents also as well as the teachers also. Next is the role of speech therapist. Speech therapist is one who will diagnose and assess the type and degree of speech and language related problem the child is suffering from. They will arrange therapeutic sessions. They will suggest and provide possible medical treatment, whatever required. They will guide the parents as well as teachers as how to deal with the children who are suffering from this speech disorder, what the parents at home can do, and what and how the teacher in the classroom should teach. Next is the role of a physiotherapist. Physiotherapist is one who will diagnose and assess the nature of the difficult movement and locomotor impairment the child is suffering from. It could be related to strength and coordination. It could be related to the motor development. It could be related to the posture, balance, the quality of movement, and function, and how much they are able to work in that kind of impairment. Now the physiotherapist are the one who will counsel the teachers and the parents, and they will tell them the necessary treatment and adjustment which they have to make as a parent in home, and as a teacher in the classroom. They will provide therapy to the children. They will suggest and help in terms of giving special equipments and appliances and whatever assistive devices are needed by the child. They will recommend exercises and various programs of work, whatever supportive thing they can provide them for learning and work environment. They will provide training and advice to the parents also, and teachers also, as how they should deal with these children. Next is the role of occupational therapist. Occupational therapist is one who focus on the in improving the student's performance of tasks and activities associated with his or her successful school functioning. Whatever problem the child is facing in having a successful school functioning, occupational therapist is one who will take care of students performance task activities in which the child is involved. They will diagnose, they will assess the problems, the difficulties which are faced by differently abled children. It could be problem related to adjustment, it could be problem related to the learning. So I hope you all understood about the support services which should be there in every inclusive school. Thank you very much.